Connect 4 is a very simple game that anyone can play, but not a game that everyone can win.
I'm fucking dead, dude. I'm fucking, yeah, it's nothing like...
So, rather than improving my Connect 4 skills, I'm going to make an unbeatable Connect 4 bot that will have a 100% win rate against unsuspecting victims online. Before I can make a bot that's unbeatable at Connect 4, I need to program Connect 4. First, create a grid of the board and note the heights of each column. We also need to track which player's turn it is. To add a piece, we pick a column, and if that column is not full, add the piece of the current player onto the top of that column. Then, flip the player's turn. Easy. Programming time. Hopefully the GUI displays correctly and the pieces are dropped into the correct spaces. Oh, okay. It's not supposed to be floating like that. So I'll fix that bug and also make the GUI interactive. Okay, that should be all done now. Time to check if it works. Yeah, works just as intended. Flipping colours each go as well. Now it's time to add the win check-in. To check for a draw, we check if every column is full. If they are, then it's a draw. To check for a win, we check where the last piece was placed and which player placed it. Then, going along the horizontal forward, we count up how many of the same colour there are in a row and stop when it's occupied by the opponent's piece or it's empty. We then do the same going backwards. If there are 4 pieces in a row, then that player has won the game. We repeat this for vertical, diagonal ascending, and diagonal descending. So I've now added the draw functionality and I've also added these little lines to the grid, hopefully make it look a bit nicer. So just got to place all of these and we will see draw. So it's working as intended. Now time to add the win functionality. Okay, so win checking has been added. So if I do vertical here, we'll see red wins. Now if I do it horizontal, red wins again. Now if we do the diagonal, do it with yellow here. Let me make sure I do this right. And again, yellow wins. And now the other diagonal and do it with red. And red wins. So now that we've added the win check-in and the draw check-in, the game of Connect 4 is now complete. Now we can move on to the interesting part, which is making the Connect 4 bot. To make a bot, we need to give the computer a bit of brain. We can achieve this through the minimax algorithm, which I am going to attempt to explain now. Minimax first simulates all possible moves for the maximising player, the bot. Then, the minimising player's counter moves are simulated. This repeats and repeats until all of the game over states have been reached. Then, the algorithm works backwards through the moves, with each player choosing the move that is best for them. Then, back at the root, the best move is selected. So I've finally managed to implement that and debug it about 100 times. It is working now, which is good. So I'm just going to show it off first at a depth of 2. So that means it'll look at the bot's move, how it can move, and then also how I can respond to that. So these are like 2 half moves it's looking at. So here as an example, it's just going to place randomly because at this point it can't see anything important. But then when you see, I could, if it didn't go in this position here, I could go there and then I'd win. So it knows to block that off. So if there's an immediate win for itself, it will place it there. Or if there's an immediate win for me, it'll block that. But other than that, it's just placing randomly. So here, again, it's placed to block it off. And now, if I'll show now, it will place here if I go down here, because it knows it will win. So that's how it works. We can get up to about a depth 5, which is 5 half moves it can evaluate, and that's really, if we do any more than that, it's going to be too long. So, and to prove that a bigger depth is better, we're going to have red with a depth of 5 and yellow with a depth of 2, and we're going to run this 10 times and we should see red win every single time. Proved there that more depth is better. So what I'm going to do now is make some optimizations to the algorithm so that we can get a greater depth and make it really, really unbeatable. There are 3 optimizations that we will make to the algorithm without affecting the quality of the bot. The first is implementing alpha-beta pruning. This works by skipping over branches that will not affect the outcome of the minimax algorithm, which saves time. Also, it is very easy to implement. And now, after implementing alpha-beta pruning, the depth has increased to 7, but we can go even higher with the next optimization, which is removing the use of the copy function. Currently, the way we simulate moves on the board is we make a copy of the board and then simulate the move on that new board, but copying the board is slow. So a better option is undoing the move rather than making a whole new board. Honestly, debugging that was really difficult for no reason, just over a couple lines of code, so that was annoying. But it works now, and it can go up to a depth of 9, and it'll only take maximum of like a couple seconds, which is good. So one more optimization to implement, which is adding a transposition table. A transposition table stores board positions along with their scores. If the same position shows up again, it doesn't need to be recalculated, saving time. I've now added the transposition table to the code, and it can just squeeze out a depth of 10 reasonably. However, I've noticed that when I've been playing against it, that its endgame is really good, but because it has no strategy in the opening, it might sometimes reach endgame, but in a position that it just cannot recover from. So what we need to do is implement some basic heuristics. This is just going to prioritise the central columns, as those offer more opportunities to win, just to offer it a bit of strategy during the start of the game. and bot is finally complete, so it's time to put it to the test against people online. So we're here on Connect 4 online. I'm signed into a brand new account here, and we're going to test our bot against other people. I've wrote some code so that it'll automatically make all of its moves. So it's just the same as what it was before, but instead of me having to click and input both players' moves, the bot will just do that automatically. So we're going to see how many games we can win against real people. Hopefully our bot should do very, very well. Okay, so our first game. Okay, so not the best start, but maybe he was just nervous these first game. So let's speed through a few now and see how we end up doing. And now, 50 games later, I have some results. So, looking at our wins, we won 32 games, we lost 17 and drew 1, which honestly isn't that bad. And our ELO ended up being 1,730, which is up 230 from where we initially were. And not just that, we ended up being 32nd on the daily leaderboard. Anyways, that concludes today's video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed. I do have other videos, check them out. New video coming soon. See you later.